last part demo on how to use the pen tool, and previously we did the car, the trailer. Now we're doing something to put inside the trailer. Okay, so I left off last in making this kind of a sunflower, lazy Susan kind. I think it's called lazy Susan or some kind of a Susan, but let's call it. Let's just call it a sunflower. Uh, this is the pot we finished on the last video. Okay, so here we go. I am going to do Command G. That groups everything. And then I am going to pull this over and do a Command V. All right? Command C and then Command V. All right, there we go. Okay, so then I'm going to just hold one of these handles here and I'm just going to pull it. You can do that. There's another way to do this, and that is by going up to Object, Transform, and Reflect. Reflect in Adobe Speak means flip. So basically you flip it like this. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So the two sunflowers are a little bit different sizes. There we go. Looks nice. Now I'm going to put a marquee over both. Command G for group and Command C, copy. Now I'm going to move over to this. This is what we were working on. And I'm going to go Command V. There we go. Command V is paste. Now it's a little bit too big. So let's make it smaller. Now you could just go by a corner and pull it in. But you've got to be careful with that when you have something this complicated where you've already made something like this. So if you want to keep these consistent sizes as you scale them up and down, it's better to select it, go to Object, go to Transform, go to Scale, and then do, how about 80%, and then do Preview. There we go. Looks good. Again, make sure your scale corners and scale strokes and effects are selected. That's what's going to keep this looking good. All right, okay. Let's bring this down. Let's click on this and bring it forward. Let's hope this works. Arrange, bring to front. Yeah. I didn't know what else it was attached to here, but that looks pretty good. All right, we're going to do a couple other things here. Let's put a slight gradient on this, okay? Now, gradients are really aren't that popular right now, so use them sparingly. So we're going to do just a very slight gradient on here. Go up to Window, Gradient, all right? And you right here, with gradients, you have to pick one of these three. Now, this is going to be linear gradient, and this is going to be radial, which means it's going to go from the center out or from out in. And we don't want that. We want this. We want the linear gradient. Now, turn to gray because gray is black and gray are the default colors. Okay, so let's fix this before we change the color. All right, let's go to 90 on this, see what it looks like. There we go. That looks pretty good. And let's choose, let's choose a blue for this, all right? Because it's kind of disappeared. So let's go with our selector, the eyedropper, and let's click on this. Okay, way too dark, of course, but it's okay. Now, let's do this gradient slider. And let's, it keeps, here we go. There we go. We want the end, so we don't want the edge. That would be this, and that's no. So let's go here, and let's do a gradient on this. Let's see, where did that thing go? Window, gradient, there it is. Okay, so let's pull this right there. Okay, do you see that? I pulled that where it was black, and you can change this color too. But right now, let's redo it where it's 90 here. So then it goes from dark to light, dark to light. Okay. Now this is pretty dark. So let's see if we can click on this and go to opacity and go to 50. There, better. Okay. Whoops, whoops. Got to be careful with this dropper. It actually selected the gray here. Okay, that looks good. That looks really good. Let's just leave that as it is. We could make this is flat. We could make it a gradient, but I'm just going to leave it. Okay, the last thing we need to do is to put some clouds in the sky. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. What we're going to do is make this smaller, Command minus, and I am going to bring this down because I want more sky. So what I'm going to do is click on this, pull it up. The gray will be less ground. So I'm going to pull this there. How does that look? That looks pretty good, I think. So let's go ahead and lock everything. Okay, I did a marquee, selected everything. Now I'm going to object, lock, selection. So everything is selected. Okay, so what I've done here already, here's our flowers. I've already made these clouds. So you can go ahead and make something similar, or you can make your own. This is how I made mine, in case any of you want to know. And what I'm going to do is, if they look like they're groups, I'm going to do ungroup all. And I am going to click on, how about this? Oh, that's interesting. They're really, I must have somehow cut them out. So they're, I'm going to do Command Z. Let's put this back. I'm just going to make it all over again. I'm going to sample this. Okay, here's the sampler. Okay, and this is how I made them to begin with. Rounded rectangle tool. Okay, and ellipse tool. Honestly, all you do is make circles. Big circles, small circles, little circles, lots of circles. Okay, and you pretty much got it. Let's put them in place. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This one's a little bit too big. Let's make it smaller. Let's put it over here. How about here? Okay. And I'm going to hold the Option key down, duplicate. Make this a little smaller. And how about this here? We're going to put this here and one more. And that's going to be it. Okay. So you get the idea. I'm not going to do all of them, but what you should do is then do a marquee over all of them, and you got it, either group them, or what I like to do is go to Pathfinder. Pathfinder's right here. Here's Unite, and here's the minus front. We'll get into the minus front later on, but right now let's just click to Unite. And there we go. There's our clouds. Okay, and then I'm going to hold down the Option key, and then I'm going to make this one smaller, a little bit darker. Okay, and here's one. I'm just gonna pull these just for you to get an idea. Okay, so that this video isn't too long. Okay, so I'm gonna go over all three of these. Command G again for group. Command C is copy. And then here we are. Command V is paste. Okay, so where do we want this? Kinda, I guess, over here. Let's see if we can get these to come forward. Oops. Unlock all. I think these are still grouped. So arrange, bring to, oops. Should be arranged, bring to front. And there we go. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to do Command S, which is save. And this is one I did the other day. So without really looking at it too closely, it's similar, but I think I kind of like this one better because the plants are not so big. Oh, here, we got to fix this. Object, arrange, bring to front. There we go. Command S. Okay, that's it, guys. On to another lesson.